1. Introduction. Imagine this. You're scrolling through social media, seeing posts about people boasting their romantic conquests, flashy dates, and picture-perfect relationships. Society often glorifies the idea of constantly pursuing others, especially when it comes to romantic interests. But here's a question worth asking. Is this endless chase really bringing fulfillment, or is it leaving you distracted, drained, and disconnected from your true purpose? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and Roman emperors, believed in living with discipline, focus, and clarity. He wasn't concerned with fleeting pleasures or chasing things outside his control. His philosophy teaches us a valuable lesson. Chasing women, or any external validation, is a distraction from becoming your best self. In this video, we'll explore the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and how his teachings on self-control, purpose, and inner peace can radically shift the way you approach relationships and life. By the end, you'll understand why the constant pursuit of others isn't just unnecessary, it's a roadblock to the greatness you're capable of achieving. Stick around, and I'll show you how applying Stoicism to your life can help you not only stop chasing, but start attracting the right things, the right people, and the right mindset. Let's dive in. 2. Define Stoicism in the context of relationships. Before we dive deeper, let's take a moment to understand what Stoicism really is and how it applies to relationships. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy founded on the idea that true happiness comes from living in accordance with nature, exercising self-control, and focusing only on what you can control. It emphasizes the importance of virtue, qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, as the foundation of a fulfilling life. Now, how does this connect to relationships? Stoicism teaches that external things, like other people's actions, opinions, or even affections, are outside of your control. Chasing someone romantically, constantly seeking their attention, or trying to manipulate their feelings is a distraction from what truly matters, your own character and inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on how desires and attachments to external things cloud judgment and pull us away from our higher purpose. In the context of relationships, this means recognizing that your worth isn't tied to how many people you can impress or pursue. Instead, Stoicism encourages us to shift the focus inward, to build a life rooted in virtue and purpose, where relationships are a bonus, not a necessity. So, rather than chasing relationships for validation or fulfillment, Stoicism challenges you to become the kind of person who naturally attracts meaningful connections through your actions, values, and integrity. It's not about avoiding relationships. It's about approaching them with clarity, self-respect, and emotional resilience. 3. Marcus Aurelius's core principle: focus on what you can control. One of the most profound lessons Marcus Aurelius teaches us is this: focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. This principle is at the heart of Stoicism and applies perfectly to relationships and personal growth. In Meditations, Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When it comes to chasing women, or anyone's attention, you are stepping into a realm that's beyond your control. You cannot force someone to like you, reciprocate your feelings, or behave the way you want. The only thing you have full control over is how you choose to act and respond. Think about it. The energy spent trying to win someone over, or constantly seeking their approval, could be channeled into something far more productive: your own growth and fulfillment. Instead of worrying about whether someone likes you back, Stoicism encourages you to ask, am I living according to my values? Am I becoming the best version of myself? By focusing on your actions, your character, and your purpose, you naturally align with people who appreciate you for who you truly are. Marcus Aurelius didn't waste time chasing fleeting desires because he understood that true contentment comes from mastering your own mind and actions, not from trying to control others. So, let go of the chase. Embrace what you can control: your discipline, your goals, and your commitment to becoming someone who attracts. Not because you pursue, but because you embody strength, wisdom, and purpose. 4. The trap of chasing external validation. Chasing women, or any external validation, is a trap. It's easy to fall into, but it leads to frustration, insecurity, and a loss of self-respect. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, warns us against becoming enslaved to external things, saying, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." When you're chasing someone's attention, what you're really seeking isn't love or connection, it's validation. You're looking for someone else to confirm your worth, to make you feel important, desirable, or complete. But the harsh truth is this: no one can fill the void that comes from a lack of self-acceptance. The more you chase external approval, the more you distance yourself from the inner peace that Stoicism teaches us to cultivate. Marcus Aurelius would remind us that seeking validation is like trying to catch the wind. It's fleeting, unstable, and beyond your control. Worse, it can lead you to compromise your values, lower your standards, or act out of desperation rather than self-respect. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to turn inward. Ask yourself, why am I chasing? What am I hoping to gain? More often than not, the answer lies in an unmet need for self-worth, something no external source can truly provide. When you stop chasing validation from others, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters: your own growth, character, and purpose. This isn't just liberating, it's attractive. People are drawn to those who are secure in themselves, who don't seek approval because they already know their worth. That's the essence of Stoicism: mastering yourself rather than seeking mastery over others. 5. Prioritize virtue over passion. One of the most striking lessons from Marcus Aurelius is his unwavering focus on virtue as the highest good. In his writings, he repeatedly emphasizes the importance of living a life grounded in wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. For him, these virtues are far more valuable than the fleeting pleasures of passion or desire. When you chase romantic interests with unchecked passion, you risk being led by impulses rather than reason. Passion, when unbalanced, can cloud judgment, distract you from your goals, and even compromise your values. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Think constantly of the qualities of character you want to cultivate. In other words, what you prioritize shapes who you become. Stoicism teaches us to align our lives with virtue rather than being ruled by emotions or desires. Ask yourself, is this pursuit helping me grow as a person? Is it aligned with the values I want to live by? Often, the answer reveals that the chase for fleeting passions only pulls you further away from your true purpose. Prioritizing virtue over passion doesn't mean avoiding relationships or emotions altogether. Instead, it means building connections that are rooted in mutual respect, shared values, and genuine care, not driven by superficial desires or the need for validation. When you lead with virtue, you naturally attract people who align with your principles and respect your boundaries. Marcus Aurelius didn't achieve greatness by indulging every desire. He achieved it through discipline and a relentless commitment to living virtuously. By following this example, you'll find deeper fulfillment, stronger relationships, and the clarity to focus on what truly matters. 6. The temporary nature of pleasures. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the fleeting nature of worldly pleasures. In Meditations, he wrote, "How quickly all things disappear, in the universe, the bodies themselves, but in time, the memory of them." This Stoic insight reminds us that the thrill of chasing temporary desires, like romantic pursuits driven by passion, rarely lasts and often leaves us feeling unfulfilled. When you chase someone purely for physical or emotional gratification, you're pursuing something impermanent. The initial excitement fades, and what's left is often emptiness or regret if the relationship lacks depth or meaning. Stoicism teaches us to look beyond fleeting pleasures and instead focus on cultivating inner peace, virtue, and purpose, which provide lasting fulfillment. The pursuit of transient pleasures can also derail you from your goals. How many times have people sacrificed their time, energy, or values chasing something or someone that ultimately didn't matter? Marcus Aurelius reminds us to rise above this. Do not waste the remaining part of your life in thoughts about others when you are not referring to some advantage to the community. In modern terms, this means not letting distractions steer you away from living a meaningful life. Instead of being driven by short-term desires, Stoicism encourages you to ask yourself, will this bring lasting value to my life? Is this aligned with my purpose? By shifting your focus from fleeting pleasures to enduring virtues, you build a foundation of self-respect, discipline, and clarity. The temporary nature of pleasures is not something to mourn, but something to accept. It frees you from being enslaved by desires and allows you to invest in what truly matters: your growth, your character, and the relationships that bring real meaning to your life. 7. The value of solitude and self-reflection. In a world that constantly demands our attention and pushes us to seek validation from others, Marcus Aurelius offers a refreshing perspective: the power of solitude and self-reflection. He believed that taking time for yourself is essential for maintaining clarity, discipline, and inner peace. In Meditations, he wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." When it comes to relationships, this teaching is invaluable. Chasing others often stems from a fear of being alone. We think that being in someone else's company will complete us or fill a void within. But Stoicism challenges this mindset. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that true fulfillment doesn't come from external sources. It comes from understanding and mastering yourself. Solitude is not loneliness. It's an opportunity to reconnect with your values, reflect on your actions, and ensure you're living in alignment with your purpose. When you spend time alone, you can ask yourself important questions. What kind of person am I becoming? Am I acting out of integrity or desperation? This self-awareness helps you avoid the trap of seeking relationships for the wrong reasons, like validation or escape. By embracing solitude, you develop independence and self-sufficiency, qualities that naturally make you more attractive to others. You become someone who doesn't need to chase relationships because you're already at peace with yourself. This is the essence of Stoicism: finding strength within and not relying on external circumstances for happiness. Marcus Aurelius understood that self-reflection isn't just a tool for personal growth. It's a way to build resilience and avoid being swayed by fleeting desires. By prioritizing time alone and cultivating a strong inner world, you prepare yourself for deeper, more meaningful connections with others, grounded in mutual respect and shared values. 8. The power of self-control. Self-control is one of the cornerstones of Stoicism, and Marcus Aurelius often emphasized its importance in achieving a virtuous and fulfilling life. In Meditations, he wrote, "You must be the master of your own mind. If you can do that, nothing will be beyond your reach." When applied to relationships, self-control becomes a transformative force, enabling you to rise above fleeting desires and act with clarity and purpose. Chasing someone romantically often stems from impulsive emotions, lust, infatuation, or the fear of missing out. These emotions, if left unchecked, can lead you to act in ways that compromise your dignity or distract you from your greater goals. Stoicism teaches us that self-control is the key to avoiding such pitfalls. It empowers you to resist the temptation of immediate gratification in favor of long-term growth and fulfillment. Imagine channeling the energy you'd spend chasing others into something more meaningful, developing your skills, pursuing your passions, or building a life aligned with your values. This redirection not only enhances your personal growth, but also makes you more attractive to others. People respect and admire those who have control over their impulses and are guided by purpose rather than fleeting emotions. Self-control doesn't mean suppressing emotions or avoiding relationships altogether. Instead, it's about ensuring your actions are deliberate and in alignment with your values. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to approach every decision with reason, asking ourselves, is this action necessary? Does it reflect the person I want to become? In the context of relationships, self-control allows you to approach love with a clear mind and a steady heart. It helps you avoid desperate pursuits and instead focus on forming connections that are meaningful, respectful, and rooted in shared values. By mastering self-control, you not only protect your integrity, but also position yourself to attract the right people into your life, those who value you for who you truly are. 9. Building meaningful connections. Instead, one of the core teachings of Stoicism is that meaningful relationships are built on shared values, mutual respect, and personal integrity, rather than superficial attraction or fleeting desires. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, encourages us to focus on living virtuously, stating, "A man is not good because he is loved by others, but because he is good in himself." This reflects the Stoic belief that authentic relationships are grounded in the inner qualities of both individuals, who they are at their core, not just how they appear to others. In the context of relationships, this means shifting our focus away from chasing people to truly understanding and valuing them. Chasing someone often reflects a desire to fill an emotional gap or seek validation, but building meaningful connections begins with knowing and valuing yourself first. When you embrace your own worth and align your life with virtue, you naturally attract people who respect and appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can give them. Rather than pursuing relationships driven by external desires, Stoicism encourages you to foster relationships that are rooted in trust, communication, and common purpose. Think about it. The most fulfilling connections aren't built on constant pursuit, but on genuine care and shared principles. A Stoic approach encourages you to seek relationships that help you grow, challenge you in positive ways, and align with your values, rather than ones based on temporary pleasures or surface-level attraction. Marcus Aurelius was keenly aware that the people we surround ourselves with have a profound impact on our character and well-being. He advised us to reflect on those we spend time with, saying, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." This advice can be applied to relationships, as it underscores the importance of choosing companions who support your personal growth and align with your values. Ultimately, building meaningful connections isn't about seeking out romantic attention or approval. It's about creating bonds that are purposeful, fulfilling, and grounded in mutual respect. When you focus on cultivating these kinds of relationships, you attract people who appreciate the best in you, leading to deeper, more lasting connections. The Stoic path encourages you to let go of the chase and instead focus on becoming the kind of person who draws in the right people, people who complement your values and help you become the best version of yourself. 10. The role of discipline in avoiding the chase. Discipline is one of the most powerful tools in Stoicism and plays a crucial role in avoiding the trap of chasing people, including romantic interests. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly stressed the importance of self-discipline in achieving a life of purpose, focus, and inner peace. In Meditations, he wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly, and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature." This quote underscores the importance of controlling your thoughts and actions, especially when they are driven by fleeting desires that lead to the chase. Discipline is what helps you stay aligned with your values and goals, even when faced with distractions or temptations. The Stoic practice of discipline involves consciously directing your energy toward what truly matters, rather than being swept away by the impulses and passions that often guide the chase for romantic attention or external validation. When you are disciplined, you are able to make decisions based on reason, rather than giving in to the emotional pull of desire or insecurity. In the context of relationships, discipline means resisting the urge to seek approval or validation from others. Instead of obsessing over romantic pursuits or trying to win someone's affection, a disciplined approach encourages you to focus on your own growth, well-being, and purpose. This self-control is not about rejecting relationships, but about choosing them wisely and based on a deeper connection, rather than an impulse or a need to feel validated. Marcus Aurelius himself exhibited great discipline in both his personal and professional life. Despite being Emperor of Rome, he maintained a commitment to Stoic principles, ensuring his decisions were grounded in reason and virtue. His ability to stay focused on what truly mattered, despite external pressures, serves as a powerful example of how discipline can help us avoid distractions and keep us on the path to true fulfillment. By embracing discipline, you free yourself from the cycle of chasing and instead invest your time and energy into building a life that reflects your true values and aspirations. This disciplined approach not only leads to greater personal success, but also helps you form stronger, more meaningful relationships, built on mutual respect and shared purpose. 11. Cultivating inner peace. Through non-attachment. One of the most profound principles of Stoicism, as taught by Marcus Aurelius, is the idea of non-attachment. This doesn't mean avoiding relationships or emotions, but rather learning to detach your sense of self-worth from external outcomes, including romantic pursuits. By cultivating inner peace and emotional resilience, you stop relying on the affection or attention of others to feel complete. Instead, your sense of fulfillment comes from within. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful teaching invites us to see challenges, such as the desire to chase relationships, as opportunities for growth. The Stoic approach to non-attachment helps you break free from the constant need to chase people for validation or emotional fulfillment. When you realize that true peace comes from within, you can let go of the need for external approval. When you stop attaching your happiness to the pursuit of others, you begin to experience greater freedom and contentment. The chase often comes from a place of insecurity or fear of being alone or fear of not being enough. But Stoicism teaches us that these external conditions are outside our control. What we can control is how we respond and whether we base our happiness on what we have inside ourselves, not on how others behave. Non-attachment doesn't mean withdrawing from relationships or becoming cold or indifferent. It means being emotionally resilient and grounded enough that you don't let your happiness hinge on someone else's actions or feelings. Instead of chasing affection or approval, you develop a deeper sense of self-worth and inner peace. This state of emotional equilibrium makes you more attractive because people are drawn to those who radiate confidence and stability, not desperation. By practicing non-attachment, you free yourself from the emotional roller coaster of chasing relationships for validation. This approach allows you to engage with others from a place of strength, self-awareness, and emotional independence. As a result, your relationships are more likely to be based on genuine connections, where both parties bring value and fulfillment to each other, rather than on the pursuit of approval or external validation. 12. Embrace the present moment and let go of expectations. Marcus Aurelius consistently urged us to live fully in the present, without becoming entangled in the anxieties of the future or the regrets of the past. In Meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This teaching speaks to the Stoic principle of accepting life as it unfolds and making the most of the present moment. When applied to relationships and the chase for romantic attention, this lesson becomes even more powerful. Chasing someone often stems from an attachment to a future outcome, hoping for love, affection, or approval. But Stoicism encourages us to embrace the present, free from the heavy weight of expectations. Rather than focusing on what might happen in the future or how a person will respond to your advances, it teaches you to value the current interaction for what it is, without trying to control or manipulate it. The Stoic perspective on relationships is about being mindful of the present moment, allowing things to unfold naturally, without placing unnecessary pressure on them to meet certain expectations. Living in the present also means letting go of the need for control. You cannot force someone to like you, nor can you dictate the course of a relationship. Stoicism teaches you that your happiness should not depend on any future outcome, but rather on how you approach the present with wisdom, integrity, and self-respect. By releasing expectations, you allow relationships to form organically, without the anxiety of needing to secure a particular result. This mindset shift leads to more authentic connections and a greater sense of peace in your interactions. Additionally, embracing the present moment allows you to focus on what's truly important: your own personal growth, your values, and your purpose. Instead of spending energy on chasing after external validation, you can invest that energy in being fully present with yourself and the people around you. By living in alignment with your values, you naturally attract people who appreciate you for who you are, not for who you are trying to be. In essence, letting go of expectations and embracing the present moment brings freedom. It frees you from the pressure of constantly pursuing external outcomes and allows you to engage with life and relationships in a way that's more meaningful, fulfilling, and true to your Stoic principles. When you stop chasing and start living in the present, you'll find that the right relationships, those grounded in mutual respect and genuine connection, will come naturally.